this video we have gone through what is blockchain and history of blockchain and main components of blockchain. In this video we'll see what is centralized system and decentralized system. So before that, first let's know what is client server architecture is. So client server architecture is a traditional system where clients request to the central server and central server process the request and sends response to the client back. Here you can see client request and server processing and server response. Okay, so yeah, client server architecture is a network model in which clients request a central server which processes those requests and returns response. So this is the client server architecture, client request and server responses. So the core characteristic is nothing but centralized control, okay, single server and easy maintenance, like any updates or any patches easily can be updated, and single point of failure. If that single server fails, then the whole network is invalid. So some real world examples are like websites, banking systems, emails, okay, email services. So next is peer-to-peer network. Okay, peer-to-peer network is a decentralized architecture. That means like all the participants can communicate directly with other nodes, like one node can directly communicate with other node without any intermediary, like any server in the middle. So here also you can see all the nodes are directly connected to other nodes, and the communication, everything is exchanged, everything is done without any central server. See, the decentralized architecture where each participant communicates directly with other nodes without any central server. Okay, core characteristics: no central authority, direct communication, shared resources, and better fault tolerance. Okay, real world examples are like Bitcoin, blockchain networks, BitTorrent. Okay, yeah, why learn this architecture? See, centralized architecture is solely based on client server architecture, and peer-to-peer and like decentralized architecture is morely like influenced by peer-to-peer network. That's the reason I have told you this two architectures. So yeah, the differentiation between the client server and peer-to-peer network: single center server and many equal nodes. Clients depend on server, here nodes are independent, and centralized control, here distributed control. This is single point of failure and this is fault tolerance. So blockchain is inherits the P2P model. That's the reason you have to understand what is peer-to-peer model is, and it stores a full copy or partial copy of ledger and validates transactions independently, propagates new blocks to the peers, and operates without trusting any single authority. Okay, see, understanding this architectures is the foundation of understanding decentralization. Okay, so I hope you understood these things. So next is, what is a centralized system? A centralized system is the one where the single authority is the one, like here you can see in the picture also, the central server is the one who like takes the decisions and controls all the resources and the data in the network. That is what centralization systems are, where only single party is the sole responsible of the whole network, and the client nodes just request, like if client node 1 wants to talk to, like want to have a conversation with client node 6, then it should go through central authority. That's how the communication and the data flows through the central server. Characteristics are like single authority only, yeah, and centralized database, only the central server maintains the database, and easier management. Yeah, administrators can update, patch and control the systems from one place, and faster control, like decisions and changes are only implemented in the central server. And the real world examples are banks, Gmails and traditional websites. So this centralized system is more similar to client server architecture. That is the reason I have explained you that. Next is the limitations of centralized systems. The client server single point of failure. If the server fails, then the whole network is unavailable. Okay, so there is no there is a fallback. Okay, That is the reason the single point of failure, and this is a limitation of centralized system. And security risk. If the single authority gets any kind of hacking or any kind of virus is injected, then the whole network is breached. The security is breached. Data manipulation. See, the central authority can alter and delete and censor the data without any user consent. So that is also a problem. And then third party dependency, like users are entirely dependent on the central operator, and limited transparency. Okay, so these are the limitations of centralized system. So next is, what is a decentralized system? So here you can see it is so similar to P2P net systems, that is peer-to-peer systems. That is, every node has its own ledger, that is database, and they are connected directly to the nodes. There is no single authority. See, you can see data is distributed across multiple nodes, no single point of failure, more secure and transparent. And all the nodes are connected to other nodes directly, and the communication between them is direct. A definition is a decentralized system distributes control, data, decision making across multiple independent nodes rather than relying on a single central authority. Okay, so no single node has complete control. So the core characteristics of decentralized systems are no central authority, distributed control, shared responsibility, better fault tolerance. Okay, so every node can communicate with multiple other nodes, creating a redundant path and eliminating a single point of failure. So this is the whole decentralized system, and this is what is based, this architecture is what the blockchain is made of. Okay, so next is advantages of decentralized system. Transparency. All the transactions and data which are shared across the network are actually visible to all the nodes. And security, like attacking one decentralized system requires like compromising majority of nodes simultaneously. So security is very high by using hashing and all cryptographic algorithms. Okay, reliability. With no single point of failure, the network remains operational even when individual nodes go offline. If some single node goes down, still the network is stable and it is valid. Data integrity, like once data is written in the decentralized ledger, it cannot be altered or deleted. Okay, no single point of failure. And trustless operation. Okay, participants do not need to trust each other or any central authority. Trust is enforced by like cryptography, hashing, consensus mechanisms and all. Okay, so how blockchain uses decentralization. Okay, so every node stores the ledger. Okay, next is the transactions verify collectively, no central authority. Network survives the node failure. So this is how it works. And real world blockchain examples are Bitcoin and Ethereum. Okay, so this is the most important question that may come in your exam. So like differentiate between centralized versus decentralized. So it's very important for you to learn this table. So first is single central authority and no central authority. One central database, multiple copies across the nodes. Limited, like transparency is limited. It is high and full. Okay, single point of failure. This is fault tolerance. Perimeter defense around central server. Only the central server is only the central server is secured. And cryptographic consensus across nodes. And the trust in the central operator required. Trustless. Okay, central authority can censor data. This is resistant to censorship. Okay, no one can alter the data. The examples are banks, Gmails, traditional websites, and Bitcoin, Ethereum, and BitTorrent. Okay. Next is conclusion. So traditional banking, the person A bank and person B. Okay, the two persons need to require an intermediary to send their funds, but in blockchain only blockchain network is enough and there is no intermediary. So key takeaways is nothing but centralized systems rely on single authority for all the control and data. Decentralized systems distribute control across many nodes, and blockchain is built on decentralization. Decentralization improves transparency, security, and resilience, and blockchain reduces dependency on trusted intermediaries. Let's have a recap of the whole video. So I'll just start from the what is centralized system, because the whole agenda of this video is to understand what is centralized and versus decentralization. So centralized is nothing but the central authority will be sitting, and it will be controlling and making all the decisions between all the other client nodes, and it is like solely depends on the central server. So these are the characteristics: single authority, centralized database, easier management, and faster control. Okay, real world examples. Then the limitations is nothing but single point of failure, security risk, data manipulation, third party dependency, and limited transparency. Then what is decentralized system is nothing but where the decision making is solely depends on the multiple independent nodes, and there is no single authority. Okay, and you can see in this picture also that every node is connected to other node directly. There is no central authority and distributed control, and every node has its separate ledger. Okay, distributed control, shared responsibility, and better fault tolerance. Okay, advantages of decentralized system is nothing but transparency, security, reliability, data integrity, and no single point of failure, trustless operation. Okay, next is how blockchain uses decentralization. Every node stores a ledger, transactions verify collectively, no central authority, network survives node failure. Okay, this is the most important differentiation, like central authority, no central authority, one central database, multiple copies, limited transparency, more transparency, single point of failure, fault tolerance, cryptographic hashing, perimeter defense only for central server, and trust in central's operator required, trustless. Okay, central authority can censor data, no censorship. Okay, so example is bank, Gmail, and traditional websites, bitcoins, Ethereum, and BitTorrent. Okay, so in the next lecture we'll know what is distributed ledger technology. So thank you for watching.